Hello and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2. In this video, we're going to attempt to get this goods factory up and running and delivering goods into the city of Montgomery. So how we're going to handle this is the goods needs plastics and steel. So we already have a steel mill running over here. So we'll probably just take from this steel mill. We'll have to, of course, bump up our trucks coming from the coal and iron mines. But then we can have that deliver the steel over to the goods factory. Then as for the chemicals, over here we have tons of oil wells around the edge of the river here. And we can send that over to this oil refinery, where from this point we can either truck it, because I don't think a train would be too viable, across the river, up this hill, and into this chemical plant right here. So then once that's done, we can take the chemicals, bring them here to the goods factory, and then send the goods up the hill into the city of Montgomery. However, first, I think what we want to do is come to our city of Jackson and Scottsdale, and I think we need to add a bus station instead of having just a stop here. We can see there's clearly way too many vehicles lining up here waiting for this bus stop, and we just have tons of people waiting, so we're losing out on a lot of the people that we'd be able to pick up. So we'll get bus stations in for these two main bus stops in each city so that we can reduce the amount of traffic we have building up and so we can handle the amount of people waiting. So first, here in Jackson, let's get rid of that bus stop and this truck stop, because I think what we're going to do is put in the bus station right about here in this sort of square of buildings. So let's plop down this bus station probably right about here. That gives us a little bit of space to expand if we need to. We have a little bit of space on the sides, so I think hopefully this should suit us for a while. And then we'll find this truck unload stop, and I think we'll just move it over one block and have them go over there. So now that we have this bus station placed down and we have our truck stop set up, let's expand our capacity here. So let's grab some small passenger buildings and we'll just plop those right here. I do like how these look. They do pretty much sort of fit in with the look of the station. So I don't think we're going to cover anything up or do much detailing with this bus station just yet. I think once maybe things get bigger and this gets a lot busier, we can pretty much just fill in this whole lot, but we'll leave it as is for now. Alright, then next of course we have this bus station that we need to find a new home for. And first I think I want to fix this intersection, so we'll delete that road and come in here, and of course it won't let us do it this way for some reason, so maybe we just have to delete all of that and then come in with a new road. That should be better. The terrain's looking pretty rough in this area, so let's just come through and smooth that out real quick. So that looks much better, a lot smoother. So we'll leave that as such. Actually, we could probably downgrade it to a smaller road. So there we go. But anyway, back to this bus stop. Let's first delete it. And I'm hesitant to put it on this road since this is going to be one of our main roads. I don't want to add a bunch of unnecessary intersections. So let's grab this, and I think we might try to fit it in here. Maybe if we can get the back of it to line up with this street. Place it down like that. I think I like that. So we have this. We need to switch these lines to separate terminals and maybe add in a small passenger building. So now all of our buses should be able to come in here, and soon all these passengers will flood into the station, as we can see them doing now. And this area should be pretty much good to go now. Now, as for this bus station, I think we will actually add some large passenger buildings, since I think this is going to start getting very full once the city begins to grow. So we'll get one here and here, and they're not terrible. I don't necessarily like having them right next to each other, or even having multiple of them. So, not too sure what we'll do about that in the future, but we'll figure something out once things get settled. And then we'll just come over to this bus station, and I think we'll just add one of these somewhere. Looks like it doesn't fit on this side. So, I guess over here is really our only spot to place it. So we'll just put it down right about there. And I think we'll just leave it as is. Alright, so now that everything seems to be settled over in this area with our new bus loops, we can now head back over here and start getting some goods made. So let's start here at this oil well, and I think the way we're going to do this is by boat, so we'll just have like one or two boats bringing oil to this oil refinery. So we're going to need to have a spot for a harbor right on the end here. So first, let's get the area laid out. Let's get some roads laid out to plan for this bridge that's going to come across here, and then we can get into the detailing of this station. Alright, so I think this is going to be sort of the basis of how we detail this area. So we have this road that comes straight across, and that'll bridge over and connect to that. And then we have, of course, the oil well, and then our port that will ship it over to the oil refinery. So now we're going to pretty much fill this space with oil refinery detailing. We might do a little bit for the port here, but I don't want to make this too big yet until we actually have its production maxed out, so that it looks like it fits the production it's producing. Alright, so here is the oil well all done up and looking pretty good. We left a little bit of space to expand in the future, as well as all of this space over here that we could use. So I think this is looking pretty good to leave as is. We are connected to this port, so all we have to do is connect up to this oil refinery, and then we can figure out how we're going to get to the chemicals plant. Alright, so now we're connected up with a road and a port to the oil refinery. So everything should be good for us to add just a few details here, a truck station, and get this area looking nice, and then we can start to get things running once we connect up to the chemical plant. Alright, and now here is our oil refinery. We added this little area over here, and this building to cover up some storage buildings, but we did keep this one out just since it sort of fit in this little corner here. And I think now we should probably get a boat running so this oil well doesn't close. So we need to get a shipyard in here, and hopefully we can get it to just fit right next to this port, although we do need to configure this to fit large ships. So we'll just throw that in there, come back in, place that right about there. So now we can come in here, and I think in terms of oil tankers, this Vandal is probably what we're going to go with. We'll get 2 of those and run them from here over to here. So that looks pretty good. And then I think to finish off this video, we're going to connect up to the chemical plant, the goods factory, and connect it up to Montgomery. But I don't think we're going to get around to detailing the chemical plant or the goods factory in this video. So we'll finish setting up this line, get the vehicles running so that these industries start producing. And then in the start of the next video, we will come through and detail these areas. So, since we have our ships running already, we should figure out our road and how it's going to go from this oil refinery to the chemical plant, since the chemical plant's in a bit of a weird spot. So, if our trucks are going to be coming down through this road, I think maybe we branch off somewhere in here and come through this valley and then just follow the foot of the hill and land over here. And then somehow we can work our way up the hill, connect to this road, and that'll send us over to the goods factory. Alright, so now we have our road coming through here. We did have to cut a little bit of the land out here, but then we can make it over to the chemical plant. So now we just need to come off of this road and figure out how we're going to get up to this road. And I think we're pretty much just gonna follow the edge of the cliff where it lets us. And it looks like we could probably end up connecting somewhere over here. So we'll do that. We will smooth out some of this where we just cut through, and I think that looks pretty good. We'll just smooth out this side a little bit, and that road's not looking too bad. It's a little rough right here at the beginning, but the rest of the slope doesn't seem to be terrible. So now we do need to fit a truck station in here somewhere, and we might get that over here if we can get this to line up just right with the edge of the industry. And I don't think there's any way we're really going to be able to fix our road curving like that, so we'll just place that down, and then we can make this area look nice when we detail it in the next video. So then of course we have our next area over here at the goods factory, and I think we're just going to delete this one road, and we'll have this one just come through and connect up, and this will just sort of be something like that. Then of course we'll get our truck station plopped like so. And then lastly, we just need to get a road that runs up to Montgomery so we can place down a truck station. So first let's get this unload stop placed, and we'll place it out here because that's probably where the goods are going to expand. And then I think the best way to go about this is to extend up this ridge right here. So we'll probably have to grab a street from here and then just bring it up the top of this pretty much until we connect up to this road in Montgomery. Alright, so now every station is in place. All we have to do is get the trucks running, and then we should start to see goods being produced and sent into Montgomery. So let's place a new road depot, and I think we'll place it on this side of the goods factory. So we'll get that placed right about there, and then we can get some trucks. So it'll definitely be one of these, as these are the fastest. So let's grab some flatbed trucks, and these will take the refined oil over to the chemical plant. So we'll have that come in here, and then we'll specify to only load the refined oil, and then it'll come over here where it'll unload whatever it has. Then with a couple of more trucks, we can come from this station specifying only to pick up plastics and have that drop it off here at the goods factory, or we'll have it unload everything. And then finally we'll get 8 of our most powerful trucks to run the goods from this station up the hill and into Montgomery. So then we do have one last trip we have to make, which is from our steel mill all the way out here. So we'll get that loaded in there to bring steel all the way over to the goods factory. Alright, so over here at this steel mill, we did have to expand our truck station to accommodate this many lines. So we'll get another set running there. That did sort of mess up what we had over here, but I think in the end we'll eventually move all of this over, or maybe we'll turn this into that little parking lot area that we had for trucks. But I do think that we did leave ourselves enough room to grow in this area, and we should be just fine. And then the final thing we have to do is just come in here and increase the number of vehicles that we're going to be bringing in iron and coal to the steel mill, so that we can have as much coming in as possible. So now that'll be about 40 vehicles per line, especially since it seems we aren't really keeping up with the demand here, since it's not storing any of the iron or coal that we're bringing in. Alright, so now I'm just coming through this line real quick. We can see we are making some oil here at the oil well. That's coming over and getting refined, and we have a couple of that waiting over here. Now we're not going to see anything at the chemical plant yet because the trucks are still moving and on their way, but we should start producing the plastics soon. And then of course it's probably going to take a little bit for our trucks to get to the steel mill all the way out here. Alright, and now after letting this run for a little bit, letting the resources come through, we are finally producing goods, and those goods right here will be sent up the hill to Montgomery, where hopefully this line will make us a lot of money. So that's pretty much all we're going to do in this video. Next episode we will finish detailing up the rest of this line and making sure everything looks good there. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions or feedback, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching and have a great day.